Fifth Avenue Video, 244 Fifth Avenue, Suite C240. Again, if you don't have a camcorder, this is the book you got to read. This is one of the books. There are many books you have to read. I've been in this profession on and off for like 30 years. I keep floating back. And to make a long story short, this is a great profession. Now I decided to apply to it because there's a lot of things. But let me tell you something about this business. In the last century, at the turn of the century when they started Hollywood here in New York, and they worked their way to California, they started on $5,000. They haven't changed in 100 years. Mind you, we're in the 21st century. That was the 20th century. Now you look at me and say, for $5,000, yes, it can be done, because you can buy a computer for less than $600–700. You know you can do this. You know you can get it all charged up and everything else. You can put it through a computer. See, back then, $5,000, you had to write out 38 checks. Basically 38 checks for the crew, for this, for that, and everything else. This book will teach you how to use a camcorder. We're going to make an attempt, again, like I said, to show you. Let me show you what this book has. This book has 3 sections. Choosing a camcorder, VHS, VHS-C, which is compact, 8mm, high 8, super VHS, auto and manual focus, white balance, backlight, depth of field. Depth of field is a simple little question. You look to your camera and you can see everything around you. Then you got titling, how to put a title, how to put a panning, how to put composition together. Using the rule of the third, shooting scenery like a pro at a 180-degree angle. Then you have accessory ideas, tripods, monopods, color enhancement lights, filters, safety straps, making photos with your videos, and vice versa. Videotape. In other words, this whole book has everything you want. This is the beginner's book. If you don't have a camcorder and you do have one, this book you have to get. If you're interested, get in touch with us. At the end of the show, we will give you the address. And, for example, you see this? This is backlighting. You need backlighting because you get a black shadow. With a backlight, you get the person. Behind me is a light. There's no shadows. But you can see me clearly, because that's backlighting. For example, you have a light in the back of you, one on the side, and one in front of you. And the camera's in the middle. This book shows you backlighting, how to set it up. White balance. Take a piece of white paper and go in front of the screen, and it automatically becomes a color. Everything that's in your camcorder puts it back to order. That is a computer on a tripod, okay? Once you graduate with this book, we're going to show you the second book. This is the big guy, one of the big guys you need. This is the handbook that gives you everything you need. That small book was the basic how to buy it. But let me tell you about this book. This book has Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, and so forth and so on. Let's go to Part 1. Remember the first book I showed you is how to get started. Well, once you read that book, Then you can read this one. All about lenses, that's part one. Close-ups, telephoto lens, filter features, how to put a filter on, how to get day to night, night to day. Camcorder filters, CCD, image stabilizer, technology that studies your shots. That's in part one. Now we're getting technical. Now, we have tape truths, exciting overview of videotape. We have degeneration, limiting light source, signals loss, resolution lines. All this you learn. Now you can say this is a foreign language. No, it's not. Now part two is pre-production. Remember, you're going to be the director, you're going to be the producer. If you have to be the actor, you have to be the dancer and dance a little bit, that's it, you have to do it. You're going to have to hone in on your ideas, concept of finished treatments, sands of time, scheduling your video success, script writing, how to write scripts. Look who's talking, who wants to create effective, believable dialogue in your video. That's you. That's pre-production. That's in part two. That's before you get in full production. Now we got part three, production, reflecting. Using lights and how to use Video Maker. Video Maker can achieve lighting effects, those in your movies. Good lighting effects, like I said before, okay? Great shots, audio location. It's your move. All about this, the direction. Sets, lies, and videotapes, okay? How to put that together. Now, what's that? How to put a set together, how to put videotape together, lines and things like that. That is production. Now we got post-production, the art of edit. Editing is not as hard as you want it to believe, but they show you how to edit. They show you basic stuff. Even here, they show you basic stuff, how to edit. Bullseye editing, stay the target with the time code. Seizing your cut control. The less you use your film, the more you put your picture together. Then you got titles. Then you got adventures of sound editing and audio post-production. That's all in production, post-production, I said. Like I said before. Part 5 is distribution. How to distribute your video. Commercial. Low pro access, public access, right here on public access. You can take your film and put it right here on public access. And that's how it tells you how to get all the stuff. For example, test patterns and things like that. This book has more to learn. Yeah, remember what I said about lighting? Well, they give you a little demonstration. Even the little book showed you, where you're the subject in the middle, the camera's here, one here, and one here. All that is how you set your lights up. Basic, 3 lights. My mentor was Dub S.S. Sims. He's a Hollywood producer. And what he said was, when you go out and shoot, you basically need 3 to 5 cameras. But you got 1 camcorder. With that 1 camcorder, you can still do exactly what 3 or 4 or 5, unless you got $5,000. That's one of the books you get. So, basic camcorder, okay? Basic, that's this book you read first, give you an idea. This gets into the meat and potatoes.